We are mavericks. We say no to the Trudeau and Biden New World Order. And to bugs. Because bugs are creepy and gross. And people should not eat bugs. Maverick News. The world is watching.
Hey, no! To bugs!
The New World Order. Government overreach. The Great Reset. Mainstream media lies. Now more than ever, independent voices are needed. Donate now, at freedomreporters.com. That's freedomreporters.com. Maverick News. The antivirus program. For your mind.
You can say no to bugs if you want to, but I don't know if it will do you any good. Let's take a look inside a cricket production facility. You'll begin to see how far along they are with their plan. When you see how far along they are with this, I think you'll start to wake up and realize how far along they are with their entire plan. Globalization. It's here.
There are about 15 million crickets in this room. Here, they'll live out their lives freely until they're transformed into food.
The purpose of the condos is to give the crickets somewhere to live, and so generally they are resting inside the condos. They'll come up, have a drink of water, have some food, and then go back down to rest again. It's difficult to perceive how many crickets are actually in a room like this because, of course, they were all living inside their happy little condos. We just take the condo, give it a bang, and all the crickets come out.
Yippee!
Most of these crickets will be milled into a powder that can be used like flour.
Told you.
It's good. You can't even taste it yet.
Can't
Or
even taste
you
it.
can snack on them whole like chips.
Oh my God.
This one is barbecue flavored. Though you may be thinking this is a strange choice for food, crickets actually contain more protein than beef without any of the environmental damage.
A lot of manufacturers and entrepreneurs were looking for safer, more sustainable protein sources to add to their product. And for us, it's been quite a boon to our business as a result.
Did you hear what she said? Without any of the environmental damage? What does that even mean? So that they don't use any energy in the buildings that house these cricket production facilities? They don't use any energy when they're roasting them? Oh, none of it's completely environmentally friendly.
We went inside Canada's Entimo farms to see how they turn crickets from bugs to brunch. For most of us, crickets are just the soundtrack of our summer nights. But Darren Golden and his brothers thought they could be used to create a new source of sustainable and nutritious food.
Just reimagining how we can feed a population of 9 or 10 billion people on an overcrowded planet.
Now they harvest about 50 million crickets a week, and they're aiming to triple production within the year.
The trickiest thing is that there's no real manual. In terms of this kind of scale and density, there's no manual. It's figure it out as you go. Nobody's ever done free-range cricket farming on this kind of a scale
Nobody ever wanted to eat them before.
It all starts here, where the crew covers boards with a mixture of damp soil and peat moss.
Making mud pies.
And the pregnant females flock to lay their eggs. It may look like just dirt and some grains of rice, but actually...
there's probably thousands and thousands of cricket eggs in there.
And in this room, about 15 million eggs. Of the 900 different species Darren could choose from, he chose the tropical house cricket because of its simple feed requirements.
It's a cricket that does well in high densities, grows really fast, and is a super delicious cricket.
Every single part of this cricket is edible. Plus, they have nutrients like fiber, iron, and calcium. After roughly 9 days, the eggs hatch and they'll hang in the nursery for about 2 weeks.
Crickets
Oh, those
definitely
cute little
require
crickets.
a nice warm environment. Being cold-blooded animals, their metabolism's controlled by temperature. So if you keep them on the warmer end of their preferred temperature, they grow faster. And then once they're big enough and ready to handle life in the big grow room, then we transfer them from the nursery into the grow room.
It only takes a crew of 5 to maintain this colony of millions. The crickets here eat a mixture of corn, soy, and some flax. On average, the crickets dine on almost 1,000 pounds of feed a day.
That's often staggering for people because you think of crickets as such tiny little animals. But of course, when you got 10 or 15 million of them, they consume a fair amount of feed.
To put it in human terms, 15 million crickets is nearly twice the population of New York City. But growing all these crickets is still more sustainable than farming pigs, poultry, or cattle. To produce just 1 kilogram of cow meat takes a staggering 22,000 liters of water. And to produce that same amount of protein from a cricket, only a few hundred liters. Growing crickets also has other advantages.
So one of the interesting things about insects is that there's very, very few diseases that are transferable from insects to humans, which is very different from farming mammals or chickens. And crickets do not have any known viruses, or the species that we produce has no known viruses that
How would you know? We never ate them before. I guess we're...
can affect them. And of course, certainly no zoonotic viruses or viruses that can cross species.
The 3 Entomo barns can produce 9,000 pounds of protein a week, enough to fill the daily protein requirements of about 80,000 people.
By and large, most of our customers are either integrating it into a finished good, like a dog kibble, a dog treat, or selling it as cricket powder under a
I don't even want my dog to eat them.
different brand, or putting it in something like a superfood smoothie mix, baking it into other baked goods and other snacks.
Even their poop is a usable product.
Oh,
And as
come
you can see,
on.
the floor is covered with cricket manure.
It's called frass, and it's a great fertilizer.
All right, I ain't eating it.
The farm can produce about 6,000 pounds of
Although you'll get it anyway because you'll get whatever's in there. Cricket intestines, I guess, when they grind them up into powder. So you'll be eating cricket poop that way.
manure per harvest. These crickets will live out their full lifespan before they're turned into food.
So from the time an egg hatches to harvest is about 6 weeks. The big difference is that at 6 weeks, a cricket is fully mature. It's lived out its life. It's bred and laid eggs for us. And essentially it would be dying within a few days anyway.
Oh, well, it's ethical then.
And now it's time to see them turned into food.
So this is our raw receiving room. All of the crickets come in from the farm.
The insects are rinsed, then sorted to make sure there's no debris from the farm in the mix. Next,
Right.
they're evenly spread onto trays and slipped into ovens to roast.
So in order to make the powder, the moisture has to be below a certain percentage. We find that if it's above that percentage, it's really difficult to grind it.
While some are left whole and sent for seasoning and packaging, the majority will go into this industrial grinder until they look like coffee.
Do a quick 30-second blitz to break it up.
It's then manually packed into boxes of 25 pounds each. Every day, they turn 15,000 crickets into 500 pounds of powder.
The secret sauce is really in the metrics. It's in exactly how your setup is done, your ratio of eggs, surface area of feed, and it's kind of like a big, giant recipe, and everything does have to be perfect for it to function the way that we function.
But there's still room for improvement. Right now, the process at Entomo is mostly manual, and that needs to change if they want to ramp up production.
And so we're looking at more automated solutions, which will allow us to actually produce 3 to 4 times what we are capable of doing now.
Entomo Farms hopes this will also help bring costs down and make their products more affordable. Cricket flour sells for roughly $12 for every 4 ounces, which is 45 times the price of all-purpose flour.
45 times more expensive. But rush out now and get your cricket flour. It's 45 times more expensive than regular. Why are we doing this? I don't want to eat it, and I don't want to pay more. I don't want to pay $14 or $15 for a bag of roasted crickets. No, Sam, I do not want to eat my crickets and ham.
I'm just so grossed out. I had to leave the room while you were playing this. It's so
Oh,
disgusting.
40.
Man.
What a great idea. It's only 45 times more expensive than regular flour.
But it's not really the price that's holding back some customers.
Oh, no.
Perception in North
Really?
America around insect as food is certainly a challenge, and it's one that we are striving to rise up against.
In Asia, crickets already
Now, what makes this company viable? If the product they're selling competes with flour and is 45 times more expensive, what is it that keeps this company afloat?
Advertising.
No.
Look at this nice free ad they're getting from
No,
Business
not
Insider.
advertising. No, that's not what keeps them afloat. Government money.
Government grants for research and development.
And just for production, just to exist. Our governments here in Canada, and I think even in the States, they just give out money to companies. They pick winners and losers.
Mhm.
That's also a form of economic fascism. It's like, if I'm running a small restaurant, the government generally doesn't come around and just hand out a grant. But if you're a big corporation and these guys, they get millions of dollars in government grants because the product they sell, people
It's
don't
what
want to buy
government
it.
wants.
They don't
You
want
don't want
it.
it. I don't
No.
want it. But the government wants it.
The government wants it. So
Mhm.
they subsidize it with our tax dollars. So you're going to buy those darn crickets. They're going to grind them up into powder. They're going to put them in your food and you're going to eat them whether you like it or not.
a popular food. And Darren is confident the appetite for crickets is only going to grow.
Super exciting thing about insect farming is scale up is super fast.
Ah.
Each cricket lays 600 eggs or so.
Wow.
And so in a crisis
Bonus.
event, if we needed to scale up our production, we can do it really, really fast.
This news report has been brought to you by Entomo Farms.
Yes, it has.
There's an ad basically
That's what
for
it was.
Entomo
That's right.
Farms disguised as news.
Yep. Yeah, a corporate video / advertisement. That's what it is, a promotional video. And we just showed it to you, but it didn't make me want to eat them.
I feel queasy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Anybody else out there kind of got your stomach churning watching that report? Did anybody have to go barf? Ugh. Well, the only way that I would ever eat crickets, they're going to have to like sneak them into my food, because if I know it's in my food, I'm not going to eat it by choice. So they're finding ways to sneak that into your proteins and maybe your vegetables, or what you think are vegetables. Frankenfood. It's all Frankenfood.
Yeah, well, they're doing that. I will show you. Okay. So here we go.
Yeah, while we're making everybody sick, let's just do it again.
I said this before. I said they're just gonna grind this stuff up and start putting it into your food, and you won't even know.
Protein bars. Ooh, chocolate
Okay.
fudge brownie. And a probiotic box. Fueled by what protein? Acheta protein. Lots of vitamins and iron.
Yeah, look how good it is for you.
Potassium.
It's good for the planet too.
Well, my cat loves them. My cats are healthy and they eat a lot of crickets, so they must be, pretty good for animals. But they actually like them. They love a good cricket. That's a delicacy
Look,
to a cat.
I'm not seeing any reference here to crickets. But the protein in this comes from crickets. This is what they're feeding people.
Okay.
And now, if you go back, if you do a Google search for this exo protein bar, or if you search the company, it comes up under crickets, the new protein. It's an ad. And then you click on it and it takes you to that web page. But they don't advertise it on Maybe somewhere on that website you'll find reference to it, but it
I
really,
doubt it.
if you're looking for it specifically, it comes up. But if you just go to the website and you're looking for protein bars, they're not telling you that it's made with crickets. You go to the store that's sitting on the shelf or maybe at the cash register as an impulse buy. Oh, I think I'll have a protein bar. You probably think you're going to be eating soy or whey protein, but you're eating crickets and you don't know.
And they're probably like at all those trendy health food stores, like Whole Foods, where people pay way too much money for what they think is whole foods. And it's probably in the no gluten, low carb section for now. Where you
Now,
think,
I don't know.
you're getting a nice low carb protein bar, and yikes.
I don't know why. It's, cricket
It's keto.
cricket flour is 45 times more expensive, but with government subsidies, they'll get their costs down, and then they won't stop
And
there.
make a
They'll be
fat
putting
profit too.
Oh yeah, they'll be putting
That
this
price.
stuff into all kinds of processed foods, TV dinners, frozen pizzas, you name it. You name it. We're
And
going to
not
be
even
eating.
tell you.
They won't tell you because they will list it as protein powder or some other generic name. They're not going to call it crickets. They'll call it something generic.
You're damn right they're not going to call it crickets. Nobody would, in their right mind, would knowingly buy that.
We need to stop this. We need regulations. We need to know. We have a right to know what is going into our food.
Are there actually, I guess there's actually human beings out there that really like to eat crickets. They're all, saving the planet here and saving the animals, I guess. And they think they're yummy.
Yeah. There are people out there like that. There are some people who like to experiment. They think it's fun. Like this dude.
Oh,
Who wants to
God.
eat this
Oh,
spider.
no. What the hell? What is that?
Here we go.
No.
Spider.
Jesus.
For it.
Oh, dude.
Crispy.
Oh, dude.
It's pretty good, actually.
Yeah, it's not the spider that tastes good, dude. It's the salt. Okay? It's just salt.
God.
You like the salt. That's all I can say. It's not spider does not taste good. Salt might appeal to you, or maybe a little monosodium glutamate, little barbecue seasoning.
Little Cajun seasoning.
Yeah. But it's not spiders that taste good. No.
Christ.
See, I could eat a chicken. I can eat chicken with nothing on it. And it's, you know what it tastes like? Chicken.
Chicken.
But if I eat a spider, I don't think it's going to taste like chicken unless you put a little salt and seasoning on it and maybe a blob of ketchup. But no, spider, I doubt very much it tastes very good.
I wonder what bee tastes like. So when he's asked Doug Ford how that bee taste.
Yeah.
I had that remix of Doug Ford eating the bee playing in my head all night after the show. I could just hear that over and over. That's my jam. I had to go listen to it a couple more times. So funny.
But look at what they're doing to us. And with our own money. They're using our money. In fact, not even our money. They're borrowing money from our kids' and grandkids' futures. Borrowed money from the future by printing money. They're using our tax dollars, man.
Well, and if you don't want to pay that, if you don't want your tax dollars used for this sort of thing or funding endless wars, they will come to your house with heavily armed IRS agents and collect from you.
Right.
So we're being forced to pay for this agenda that none of us agree with. Maybe
They're-
a small fringe minority out there think bugs are great and that we should be investing in this. But I guarantee you, 98% of the people would say, hell no.
They're grinding it up into a powder that looks like coffee to put into food so you don't recognize it. They're taking away your freedom. They're taking away your choice. They're just feeding it to you. Literally feeding you cricket crap.
Yeah, the crap too.
Mm-hmm.
Cricket poop. This is insanity. This is absolute insanity. Has the human mind just snapped? Are there any sane people left out there in government, in positions of power? Are any?
And where
A
does this
few.
come from? It comes from this mindset of eugenics, I think, this fascistic mindset where they think there are too many people on the planet. It's just way too difficult to feed these useless eaters. We shouldn't be letting them eat meat. We need to restrict the amount of fertilizer farmers use because it's just too dirty. And we need to make these people eat insects. That would be a good idea. It's just a lot better for the environment. It'll be cleaner than having all that cow poop around, and you know, they don't they don't need to eat meat, those peasants. That's how they think of us, folks.
Yes.
Yeah, they think of us as filthy, dirty, impoverished, stupid peasants.
Useless eaters.
Useless eaters. And don't let them eat cheesecake, let them eat crickets. Yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll feed them
Cricket
crickets.
cake. Have some cricket cake.
I wouldn't feed crickets to my enemies. I wouldn't feed insects to
Right.
people I didn't like. What does
Yeah.
this say about the way our government views us? These elites. What does it really
They hate
say?
us.
They hate us.
They hate us. And you know,
They-
they even said in that report, we don't know what these bugs are going to do in the human body. We don't really know. This is an experiment. It's another medical experiment. So what if they kill us? What if they give us diseases? What if they
Yeah.
make us sick?
They really don't know.
They don't know.
Of course not. To do this en masse again, to start feeding this to people, just eat this. What's it going to really do in the long run to our digestive systems, our immune systems? What does it do to us in the long run? We know that processed foods in general are really not the best things to be eating. Now they add this into the mix, and it won't stop with crickets. It will be other insects as well. We know mealworms are being used too.
And they sell
I-
it to you as organic.
Yeah. Oh,
That's why it
organic
costs so
crickets.
much.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to pay extra because you want the
And
organic.
totally worth it.
Right?
Oh, yeah. It's way healthier. Way healthier. No. Things are upside down. Things aren't right. And look how far along they are. This isn't
Right?
just one cricket plant in London, Ontario that we've been telling you about that's been
They're all
getting
over the
some
world.
that's been getting some media play. No, they've been at this for a long time. They're rolling this out. This is a bigger plan. And those who go along with it will be handsomely rewarded with our tax dollars. Those who resist will go to jail.
Or worse.